The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was one of the most experimental changes to the franchise. The format we knew and loved was changed for an open-world experience. Standard dungeons were exchanged for shrines and divine beasts. And with all these changes, it was only natural that the soundtrack have some experimental changes as well. Our beloved Koji Kondo wouldn't be composing this one. Rather, we'd now have Manaka Kataoka, a composer who worked on Animal Crossing New Leaf, and another composer for Nintendo's IPs, Yasuake Iwata. Knowing their work, I believe this was a great choice for Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was all about exploration and discovery, and with every new encounter and location, this game had a melody that suited it. Rather than having an overworld theme to constantly drape over us, the music would come alive whenever a foe or a new location showed up, sometimes even places familiar to us. Here's a few good examples of that. Nearing the beginning of your journey, you should come across a place familiar to you. I'm referring to none other than the Temple of Time. Though this temple that once housed the Master Sword now lays before you broken and in great decay. And listening closely, you can hear remnants of the Temple of Time's theme from Ocarina of Time. But the theme is scattered and broken, as if to reflect the state of the temple itself. Should you wish to explore a bit near the Shrine of Resurrection, you may just encounter one of the game's earliest big foes, the Stone Tallis. At the start of the game, you face a great risk confronting this beast, as the damage it can cause is staggering. The theme that plays when this beast appears really shows to represent the beast itself. You can hear pickaxes striking stone at the start of the theme. Then you're met with big brass instruments, loud and long. These instruments serve to show the beast's movement. Slow, but powerful nonetheless. This game has a good way of letting you see how vulnerable you are in the beginning. Nearing the Eastern Abbey on the Great Plateau, you'll come across one of the main foes of the game, the Guardian. Though this particular Guardian seems to be embedded in the ground. Don't let that fool you, as it's still capable of doing massive damage. This is a good way of showing what you'll be up against in the future. Their theme carries a power-driven beat, a pulse of energy that serves as a rhythm, and upon being spotted, you'll hear a frenzy of rapid piano keys. A good way to reflect the anxiety you'll have when confronting this enemy, should you not be ready. Steadfast and unwavering, the piano melds into a robotic rhythm, becoming a mechanical melody, one that I think illustrates the Guardian's behavior quite well. Nearing the end of your journey, you'll be ready to enter the corrupted stronghold that is Hyrule Castle. Walking onto the outside grounds of the castle, you can hear a heroic, triumphant theme, helping to show just how far you've come. Trumpets and brass blare at you as you march onward, solidifying this as your final challenge to save Zelda as well as Hyrule. Traveling into the castle itself starts what is possibly one of my favorite themes in the entire game, one that tells a story. You find yourself hearing a low, curious melody, like hearing an organ from a distance, a good nod to the old Ocarina of Time boss fight. But as the theme grows, you hear the familiar tune of Ganon's theme, growing in volume and in power. It makes you feel the trepidation of the situation. However, his theme starts to be met with a softer melody. It should sound familiar as well, as it's none other than Zelda's lullaby. A good audible message to tell you that she's still putting up a fight and keeping Ganon at bay. You hear the theme push and pull, intertwining into an audible struggle, and it's absolutely brilliant. Kataoka and Iwata knew what they were doing. composing powerful melodies to give you more audible context on characters, places, and events. Could the soundtrack been more traditional? Sure. But I think that would have gone against what Breath of the Wild was trying to do. And there are a lot more examples of this. All you have to do is listen. Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. This is something I wanted to do for a little while. I've got a few more ideas for some shorter videos that I'll crank out in the coming months. But what do you think? Was the soundtrack fitting, or did it need something else? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and gently press that like button. I'd appreciate it. As always, keep it practical.